What's up, Conquerors? Here's crash course number 2 for the Macedonian Dynasty. Okay? So again, this is a crash course. This is not a detailed video of every unit and upgrade. I think at the surface, the Macedonian Dynasty is a very simple civilization that actually has some more complex things the more and more I went into it. The basic premise of the Macedonian Dynasty is it's a variant civ of the Byzantines, but really plays nothing like the Byzantines at all. Okay? So just for ease, I'm going to go ahead and age up to feudal here, and we'll take a quick look at the landmarks. So the Grand Winery is really just the Grand Winery, okay? Relics garrisoned inside of the Grand Winery generate silver instead of gold. So instead of olive oil, there's no olive oil. The economy of the Macedonian Dynasty really revolves around what is called silver, okay? And I'll explain silver more in a minute. There's also the Imperial Hippodrome, which of course acts as a stable. Champions emerge from the trials of the Imperial Hippodrome until each one spawns. Champions provide auras that increase damage of torches, enhance damage of cavalry, and inspire infantry to move faster. So, pretty cool. Alright, so let's take a look at the buildings here. So, first we have our barracks, which is the Vangian Stronghold. And the Vangian Stronghold can train any of the unique units to the Macedonian Dynasty. So that's their archer unit, that's their knight unit, that's their Varangian guard, and that is their spearman. Okay? Their spearman is a unique unit. I'm going to build some houses here. And the spearman's attack speed increases when it is by other Varangian units. So it's 1.85 there, you build a few more. Now it's 1.82. Okay, so when in mass, the attack speed of these units increases. You can get early Varangian guards. We had our first champion here pop out of the Hippodrome, which is pretty cool, right? So you can make early Varangian guards, which of course have the Berserk ability. You can make these archers, which have a special ability where they ignore some armor but move slower. If we actually just get our archer range, we can see there is the unique archer. There's some special things with the archer, which we'll get to later. With your basic stable, you have the ability to make the basic horseman. Later, you can make a unique knight. Okay. Now, what I really want to show you is if we build a mining camp by a gold mine or a stone mine, what we want to do is build something called the Vangian Arsenal beside our mine. And what the Vangian Arsenal does is it supports nearby mining camps and town centers with passive silver generation. The amount processed is equals to 12% of the total amount of silver dropped off at that mine. Granted, I have not tested it with town centers yet, so I would need to test it to see if that works with farms. We can actually do that while we're sitting here real quickly. It does not. That does not work. I don't know why it says that in the tooltip. So, it does work for mines, though. If you are collecting gold or stone, and then you're depositing it at the mine, you will get silver. It's almost kind of like the Japanese, you know, they mine gold, they get stone, they mine stone, they get gold. Kind of works like that, but with silver. And silver does stack up at the mine. And once, I don't know the exact math, but based on the amount of silver that is deposited in the mine, it will also generate passive silver from the mine. Okay, which is pretty cool. I assume, I don't know exactly the mechanic on sniping the mines and getting rid of silver, but their Vangian Arsenal is basically a super blacksmith. Okay, and pretty much all of the upgrades cost silver. So it's really important. I think the gameplay of the Macedonian Dynasty is going to be really important and revolve around this silver and their gold and stone mines, right? Because that's how they're going to get their silver, and they need that for their blacksmith upgrades. So if I'm playing Macedonian Dynasty, I'm stacking up my gold mine with some outposts, I'll tell you that much. So they have a lot of unique technologies in their blacksmith. You're going to see a lot of similarities with the normal ones, but I'll just point out that you can get 2 blacksmith upgrades per age. So, like, you can get increased melee damage 1, and then another +1 for feudal, like this. Same with increasing armor. So increases armor of all melee infantry and health by 5%. You can get that twice in feudal, twice in castle, twice in imperial. That's pretty freaking strong. Okay. What I think's going to be even stronger is I think their archer unit is probably going to be stronger than any other archers in the game, because the range damage of all arrows and bolts, you can also get this twice each age. So even in feudal age, and I'll get the armor and HP too, even in feudal age, this archer has 7 damage. Okay, which for like kind of a basic archer, that's as much as a longbow. That's really strong, and they have decent armor and HP as well. So I think that unit, to me, looks pretty strong. There's also a specific upgrade for them, which basically allows them, when they hit units, to have the units that they're shooting have their damage reduced by 20% for 5 seconds. So there's some really cool stuff going on with the archers in this civilization. So there's some different upgrades with siege units, health of all buildings, typical ram upgrades, stuff like that. There's another unique building called the Vangian War Camp. Increases your maximum population, and it's pretty cheap. It's just 50 wood. And as the empire suffers casualties in war, the emperor calls forth more Varangians. Once enough troops are lost in battle, the selected Varangian is reinforced to the battlefield at no cost. If placed on shore near water, attack ships or galleys can become available as reinforcements. So I think basically what happens, I don't know the exact math on this, but I think what happens is if you lose 6 spearmen in battle, 1 spearman will pop out of here just for free. So it's kind of like as your units die, some of them come back to life out of this, and you can rally. It's a very interesting concept. I don't know if I like that concept, but it's a concept. So the next 2 landmarks are Cistern of the First Hill, but totally different. So charges an ability used for boosting the work rate of military research buildings. If used on a mining camp, lumber camp, farm, begin earning 160 gold, wood, or food over 60 seconds. It's an eco building. Sounds pretty good. Golden Horde Tower is basically a super tower with crossbow placements. Generates batches of crossbowmen over a period of time. And I'm going to just turn the spawn off, but you can see it makes 3 crossbowmen. That's pretty cool, right? Excuse me. So, there's the unique knight, and the one thing I want to point out is all the Varangian units have their own toggle abilities. Like, the Varangian knight can throw axes. The archer can ignore armor but move slower. The Varangian guard has its just kind of basic berserk, right? And actually, I think that's it for those units. There's also a technology which equips your Varangian strongholds with arrow slits, so you could actually hypothetically put your stronghold near the gold mine to protect it as well. And then let's take a look at the last 2 landmarks. For an engineering company, allows production Nesbies, Hoi Hoi Pow, and Royal Cannons for silver. Or the Palatine School, which you can make elite cataphracts for silver, which I will say you cannot make elite cataphracts if you don't get this, because you have a different knight unit. But you can make elite cataphracts out of there for silver. So the whole gameplay around the Macedonian dynasty clearly revolves around silver. That's the main thing you need to understand. You really need to be working on your silver economy, I think. And I think it's one of those civilizations, I don't know how the meta is going to go. I haven't played around with it enough yet to know if it's going to be like aggressive or 2TC or fast castle kind of thing. I haven't figured that out yet. But there's a lot of unique technologies and units you can make with silver. Kind of similar to the Golden Horde with stone. So there's a lot that revolves around silver here. So if you want to play them, I do think they're going to be pretty solid, like straightforward civ. I don't think they're going to be that hard to learn. So definitely recommend them if you're looking to kind of ease into one of the new civilizations. So thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and see you guys in the next one.